Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Morning. It's good afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Looking very much looking forward to taking you through the current tax issues and the conversation around these. I am here. Let me also just make sure that I'm sharing my screen. There we go. So here to have a conversation with you today about tax issues, from a few administrative issues. Before we get started, I have to say I am quite looking forward to having this conversation with you. I'm hoping this will be constructive for you as well. I've tried to put in stuff which will be relevant for everybody, but I do also acknowledge the fact that sometimes we get it wrong. So please also do feel free to ask questions and I'll try and address them as we go along. I am going to, however, say that just given the numbers that usually attend these sessions, I may not be able to pick up every single question, but at the very least, I should be able to get through the bulk of them. We are due to have a 3-hour session today. If you have looked at the slide deck and are thinking that I'm a little bit nuts at the idea that we're going to get through all 193 slides, then yeah, you're probably right that it's going to be challenging, shall we put it that way. But the idea is that I've also put in a lot more detail so that you've got something to refer to, rather than that we're going to be able to go through all 193 slides in detail. So please do ask questions. Very much looking forward to this. So just a little bit about who I am. You've got my bio over there. I also do, I'm now, I wear many hats, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to take you through these parts. So what are we covering today? Well, firstly, we're going to start with common law and legislative changes affecting individuals. So this is looking at the tax amendments that came through the 2021 Amendment Bill, as well as some of the changes in the budget speech. It's looking at what's going to happen to us and our individual taxes. How do we fit into the grander scheme of things? And then we went and looked at issues which have come across or have come to us regularly as questions. So these are the kinds of items where there hasn't, how do I phrase this? It's not that there haven't been huge significant changes in the space in the last year, but they're still hot topics. They are still items which there's a lot of concern on. So other one is, where are we with COVID-19? Where are we with all the changes that have made? What's happening on the travel allowances side? And then also looking at dispute resolution with SARS. How do we deal with that? And then any other common issues. So that's the way the course has been designed. Again, I'm always happy to take questions. So if there's something that I don't cover, I'd be happy to still to take questions on it. And I can probably, even if I can't answer your question immediately now, we can get the answer to you. But there's most individual tax questions I'll probably be able to give you a response to. All right. So I'm going to go through the content in the order as it was given under the objective list. And so because we have 3 hours for this, and as I say, there is a lot of content for it. Actually, let me go back to the course content. I was thinking of probably spending about an hour on the tax changes, the new revised proposals for individuals in the budget speech, and residency. Then I was wanting to spend about another hour on the COVID-19 pandemic, and update on that, and the travel allowance deductions. And then probably about another half hour or so on the dispute resolution with SARS. I am, however, willing to adapt to that if there are questions, or if one area is found to be more important for you. But that's the rough plan. I am also wanting to build in a break, though. 3 hours is a little bit long to be doing in one straight set. So I'll give a break at about the hour and a half mark. Right. So that's at the end of at the end of the residency. Right. So first things first, what were the changes that actually came through in the current set of tax amendments? Now, the amendment acts that we're looking at, therefore, are the rates and monetary amounts amendments. It's 19, 20, and 21 of 2021. Now, the good, bad news is there was not much substantive change that happened in the individual space in the current round of tax amendments. And the reason for this is, in part, you can see that, well, National Treasury had a few other problems that they were busy trying to fix, not least of which was finding the money for COVID relief programs, dealing with unemployment, making sure that, everyone still got paid, figuring out where the money for vaccinations and we're going to come from and that kind of thing. But that's pretty much started calming down. So I'm expecting that in the next round of amendments, we'll see far more changes coming through. Right. There was one change which was made in the current round of amendments, though, which I think was very good and quite frankly overdue. Now, historically, if you gave your employee an award, so someone who'd worked for you for 15 years or more, and you wanted to reward them for long service, then in terms of the seventh schedule, the only place that actually allowed for a nil value on the fringe benefit was your free or cheap assets. Right. Everything else, so if you didn't give your employee an asset, but you paid for the internet for 6 months, or you paid off a student loan for them, or you did something which wasn't giving them a physical physical asset, or even if you just gave them a cash amount, then that resulted in the amount being taxable because the nil value didn't apply. And National Treasury has finally conceded that that may not have been the most practical. Things have changed. People no longer want watches and watches as the long service awards. They want gift cards to go and buy themselves a new phone, or they want, we're more flexible in our approach. So what they've changed is that they've now gone and looked at all the provisions which deal with fringe benefits, allowances, or remuneration-based inclusions. And they've gone and added in, so in terms of special inclusion para C, in terms of the fringe benefit rules, it's now no longer just in the granting of an asset, it's now included under gift vouchers, your right of use assets, payments for services rendered. Then effectively you can take all of those and make them naught. So if I give someone 5,000 Rand as a long service award in cash, that would normally be an allowance or possibly a payment for services rendered in terms of either Section 8, or in terms of special inclusion para C in the gross income definition, those would now have a nil value. However, because we all know how people's minds work, no, you can't give someone a gift voucher and cash and an asset and use the 5,000 each time. It's 5,000 in total as a long service award. Right. That's already effective. That became the law as of 1 March 2022. Now, I do expect that as we start implementing this, we are going to be seeing we may still be seeing some practical issues on this space. For example, if you have given someone an asset and are paying their internet for 6 months, just for argument's sake, then which one do you nil value? Is it up to me which one I nil value and put the full value for the next? How do I allocate that? Yeah, that kind of guidance I think is still going to come as we start implementing this. But on the whole, I think that for individuals is quite a positive change. All right. On the retirement fund, another item which I think is very positive.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.